Hey guys, I am so sorry that I was not able to post anything on my channel lately. It is the holiday season after all, so I have been busy left and right with my Christmas shopping, me pulling off a lot of overtime hours in my other job, me doing mental therapy classes, and I had to push those mental therapy classes back to like at least once a week or every Friday because me posting material out on this channel and just me doing other things and stuff, just trying to get my just to get my career up and booming has been really taking its toll on me, especially in this month of December. So it's been a big hassle for me, and not to mention me putting my artwork out there on my LinkedIn account and me releasing my next 10th novel, which is X Trauma, that is coming out in March 15th next year. It is available to pre-order, so if you guys are into novels, into horror stories, and just into the traumatic aspects of how to deal with ex-girlfriends in your coma, I suggest you guys pre-order it and check it out as soon as it releases. You will not be sorry, especially if you're already a fan of my novels and my artwork anyway. So I should have let you guys know how busy I was going to be due to this month taking its toll on me due to the holiday season, and I apologize for that. But back to the topic at hand, Deathloop. Very good game. I'm just gonna get right down to the point. Very good game. I love every single aspect to it. It did have a couple of flaws in there, but I do love this game, and it's a highly recommendation of you purchasing it if you have a PS5 and if you just love first-person shooters, because this is coming from a person that does not like first-person shooters at all. I am very picky with first-person shooters, unless it has a good story, great chemistry with the characters, very good dialogue, very fantastic gameplay, and most of all, keep you on the edge of you wanting more and more and more. And Deathloop has all those things down packed. By me saying that I love this game and I hate first-person shooters, it's like a vegan person that doesn't eat meat and they love the way how the steak tastes. And this is a very good fucking steak. So I hope you guys check this game out and stay tuned, because this review, I put a lot of effort into it just to give you guys a good welcoming back for me being gone for so long. So I put a lot of detail in this review. I hope you guys enjoy it, and most of all, I hope you guys like what I got into for you in this review as well. So you guys take care, and I hope you guys enjoy. Question: you ever had a dream that you died or you was about to die, and the thrill of it was so realistic to the point where you can actually feel the intensity of a knife stabbing you, or maybe if you falling off a cliff, you just feel the cold breeze. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, we've all had dreams like this. I have dreams like this constantly because I guess I watch movies, like a lot of horror movies or a lot of movies with with a lot of good suspense or a lot of good thrill to it, and even games like this, for example. Deathloop is a 2021 first-person shooter game that has been developed by Arkane Studios and been published by Bethesda. In Deathloop, you're the player that takes on the role of Colt, an assassin stuck in a time loop who has been tasked to take out 8 targets called Visionaries across the island before midnight. As leaving even one alive will cause the time loop to reset and undo his work. This game is fucking incredible. Probably one of the best games I've played this year. And I'm gonna have to call it right now. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played. Period. And I'm not exaggerating. I am not going over the top. This is a game that you guys should definitely pick up. It has engaged me in every way to the point where, even though after I beat it, I have took my time on this game. I have wanted to collect every single weapon. I wanted to do every single side mission. And after I beat it, I just wanted to get familiarized with each area, each boss, each enemy spawn point, and just know more about the game's premise and just why it won so many awards, even though I was already convinced. The story of the game is actually pretty engaging, a bit romantic and a bit toxic, because you know so much about Colt's character as he first wakes up. Next time you wake up, let's make this a little more interesting, shall we? Well, that's all I have to say for today. You guys. Question. You ever had a dream that you died or you was about to die and the thrill of it was so realistic to the point where you can actually feel the intensity of a knife stabbing you, or maybe if you falling off a cliff, you just feel the cold breeze. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, we've all had dreams like this. I have dreams like this constantly because I guess I watch movies, like a lot of horror movies or a lot of movies would have got, with a lot of good suspense or a lot of good thrill to it. And even games like this, for example. Deathloop is a 2021 first-person shooter game that has been developed by Arkane Studios and been published by Bethesda. In Deathloop, you're the player that takes on the role of Colt, an assassin stuck in a time loop who has been tasked to take out 8 targets called Visionaries across the island before midnight. As leaving even one alive will cause the time loop to reset and undo his work. This game is fucking incredible. Probably one of the best games I've played this year. And I'm gonna have to call it right now. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played. Period. And I'm not exaggerating. I am not going over the top. This is a game that you guys should definitely pick up. It has engaged me in every way to the point where even though after I beat it, I have took my time on this game. I have wanted to collect every single weapon. I wanted to do every single side mission. And after I beat it, I just wanted to get familiarized with each area, each boss, each enemy spawn point, and just know more about the game's premise and just why it won so many awards, even though I was already convinced. The story of the game is actually pretty engaging, a bit romantic and a bit toxic, because you know so much about Colt's character as he first wakes up. He's memory suppressed. He doesn't know where he is, who he is, and just what the hell's going on, and neither do we. So it's a good way for us to learn the character as he begins to learn himself. And as these things is happening, certain people in the game begin to show up and try to kill him, or at the same time make his life a living hell. As Colt, he begins to understand this, the situation, why it keeps repeating each time he dies or each time the day passes, it repeats itself. But Colt's getting tired of it. Colt is actually trying to break this whole loop so he can try to make everything normal for him and for the people around him. As for Juliana, she loves the loop, not just because things are the same and is controlling her own standards of how things should be, but at the same time she can kill Colt over and over and over and over again for her own personal reasons. So she wants to protect the loop, he wants to break the loop. And as for him trying to break the loop, that's where the enemies and bosses come in to try to protect the loop and make sure the loop stays intact. I love that terminology. It was giving me a lot of Edge of Tomorrow vibes, Hitman vibes, the way how you kill the enemies, and a little bit of pinch of Kill Bill as well. Even though I'm picking with first-person shooters like I mentioned before, this is a game that I have played that I loved and love enticingly. I don't know, it's because of the gameplay, the mechanics, the story, maybe it's all of it, but I love games that I kind of have like a, you know, weak interest to, but it pulls me in when it comes to entertaining people that are probably not a fan of that genre. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 has done this, and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, because you have people that is not into turn-based RPGs, and they end up making this, they even made it in an intense fighting simulator. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts. So the same thing with Resident Evil. They have changed certain things and remastered it to the point where every player is welcome. And I like games like this because it matches that aspect. It's a first-person shooter, so let's try to add more things so people can be entertained with a good story, with a good criminology of characters, and at the same time with great gunplay. That's the same reason why I love all the Far Cry games. And I was getting Far Cry vibes of this game as well. But it doesn't stop there either, because there are so many creative ways for you to play this game and keep you on the edge of you wanting more and more content. When you first start the game is very fucking hard. The game is very intense, especially when you lose your uranium. And uranium is basically, you know, the materials that you absorb for you to enhance your weapon. So if you do die and you lose your materials, you can use your uranium to enhance your weapons or your perks, which is, you know, which to upgrade your character code as he begins to progress through the story. You need to enhance these weapons and perks, because if the day go by where you have not killed all the enemies, you're gonna lose everything: your weapons, your perks, your upgrades, all that good stuff. So you need to collect as much uranium as possible in order for you to enhance these things, especially the ones that you need. And there's been so many times where I fucked up and I just breezed through the game and I did good with these perks and these weapons, and I forgot to enhance them. So when the day went by, I had to start all over again. That's a big warning to people who have played Dark Souls or Bloodborne that can relate to this game. When you play this game, don't just kill the enemies. Find the uranium, because it does help, especially if the game is too hard for you and you came out of luck to find a great weapon or a great perk or a great upgrade. You need that uranium to keep that with you, so when you die or when you end up transitioning to the next day, you can keep that with you, because everything resets. I love the strategy of this game. I love the fact that when the loop changes, like when the loop repeats itself, everything stayed the same except for the bosses. Because I noticed there were times where I would kill a boss or just, you know, find ways to execute them. The next day I had to do it again, but they changed their tactics. They changed the way how they operate. Sometimes they have like turrets or landmines around the area, or sometimes they lock the entrance that you came in to kill them in the first place. So you have to be more stealthy. You need to be more strategic, and at the same time, you need to be more deadly. You can do a run and gun, but only if you know what you are doing. Because there are times where I breeze through the enemies and I fucked up. And I love that about this game, is that it keeps you guessing what the bosses is going to do. Because even though you kill them, they learn the next day. And they sometimes come in different areas, or sometimes they be prepared for you to show up. So that's a good warning for people who are comfortable to try to play this game. It's not going to be the same each time you lose. This game has a lot of good material, and I can see why it won a lot of awards. But does that mean the game is perfect? No. Not by a long shot. The game has, it can be patched up, of course, but the game has a lot of glitches. There's been times when I've seen enemies get stuck. There's been times where I even tried to kill Juliana and she stayed in one spot, like she did like she did the T thing or whatever. And there are times where, even though I mentioned that the bosses change their tactics each day, that you kill them, what about the main enemies? What about the sub enemies that you fight? They say the exact same things at each time that they loop. They do the exact same things each time they loop. Now, during by the day, because you have 4 phases, you have morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. Now you have 4 of those time frames to do what you need to do before the day is over, which I like that, because you have to plan you have to be very strategic to kill 8 bosses in one day through 4 phases. So you need to know everything about them, know their time frame, and know when to kill them, so you can do it all at once. Because each time you kill a boss in one area, then the time frame will change. So you need to make sure that you find out where they're located and how they're going to be able to connect with each other. That's what I meant about the Hitman strategic standpoint, because I love that. But the enemy stays in one spot. The enemy says the same things except for the bosses. The bosses learn from the loop, but not the main enemies. So I felt like, even though it was a lot of detail when it came to the loop changing over and over again, but the enemies should have been changed as well. I understand that they didn't want the game to be that difficult for players. But what if you're like me? What if you end up enhancing a lot of good material, a lot of good weapons, a lot of good perks, and a lot of good upgrades? When you're like me, when you're packed into a very good game like this, and when the enemies are doing the exact same thing, you're gonna fuck them up pretty easily. So that's a flaw in my opinion. I feel like the enemy should have been addressed, and I feel like the patches should have been fixed right before the game has been released, because I came across a lot of them. Now, it's not going to defeat the whole game criminology. I love the game, and it's one of the best games I've played this year. Probably one of the best games ever. I have not been this impacted with a video game in a very long time. I don't know, maybe it's because of my age, but I noticed it takes a lot for me to be engaged in the game. And with Deathloop, it has put me into that state, to the point where not only that I love this game with a passion, but I've actually went to a website and bought the accessories, which I'm going to be showing in my show and tell video that is going to be coming in the mail pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to have to give Deathloop an A. I love this game with a passion. I love this game a lot. It's not perfect. I wish I can give it an A+, but I would not be honest. I cannot do that. Maybe if they fixed it, or they could have fixed it like the way how I mentioned. But again, if you have a PS5, because I think it's a time exclusive, check this game out. There's no reason for why you have a PS5 to not get this damn game. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is your Critic Teacher, and you guys have a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I put a lot of detail, put a lot of things into the script of what I'm supposed to say, and just putting every camera angle together for me to get everything straight out, and just for me to get the fans entertained. Yes, yes, yes. He is back. He is back. FM is back. The future me is back. And people have been asking me to bring him back. But the reason I haven't brought him back, because ever since my last review, Neo Tokyo, which was like a few months ago, I kind of been iffy with bringing him, because let's just face it, it's been kind of cringy. People will be like what's the point of him being there if he's not going to add his own synthesis of the review and stuff? And above all, like, it's been taking a toll on the reviews too, because it's been longer. It's been more like, it's been dragging and just beating around the bush and stuff. But it's been a little bit entertaining, but people want to just see a review to see if it's good, if it's bad, if it's worth them watching, playing, or just getting themselves into. So I thought real hard about bringing him back, because some people still wanted him back. Some people still wanted him to show up, because there's a lot of reviewers out there that's doing the same shit that I'm doing. So I needed to be different. I needed to be creative. And me having the futuristic version of myself was the different money maker. But the question is, how am I going to put him on here and make him be necessary? So I was thinking, I need to put him in reviews like this that will make sense. And I think Deathloop is perfect. I think Deathloop is a perfect synopsis of him showing up. He will be back, of course, but I just want to show him, I want to put him in reviews that kind of matches him showing up like this. Or I might just fool around again. And it's going to be tough to make reviews like this and showing him and making it a little brief, because my reviews been like, what, 10, 9, 8, 7 minutes, sometimes 15. It all depends. Hold on one second. G Fuel has been helping me a lot lately. I've been having a lot of G Fuel. This is watermelon flavor. The camera is a little bit like it's reverted. I don't know how to revert the camera back, but I'm gonna have to figure it out in the future. But anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and stay tuned for more of my upcoming material that's coming pretty soon. I am gonna be all in for you guys. You guys take it easy.